Be showing you guys a workflow and I call it Sunkissed. And as you can see, the original photo, I made a copy off of that. Made a copy of the background and added hue and saturation and lowered down the lightness to -8. And from there, I made a blank layer and filled that with, I think it's close to gray. I don't know what color that is, but it looks grayish to me. And I changed the mode on that to linear dodge and brought that down to 28 or 27% and made a copy of that layer and turned that mode to linear burn with the same 27 opacity. And then here comes the fun part. With the curves, this is where the grading begins. I don't have a workflow when it comes to grading. Whatever I picture or whatever I have in my mind, I tend to express it in this stage of the edit. I'm not gonna get into colors and what color mixes with what to get a certain type of color. Color and I, we just don't mix, so I can see partial colors, but not all the colors in the color chart. So right now I'm just going by feel. There are times that people complain that my color or my skin tone looks pink. Um, I can't see pink. I think pink to me looks reddish. And so if I turn a certain tonality into pink, there's nothing I can do on that. And added a on top of the curves layer. That's curves one. I added a gradient map. And once again, I'm just chasing colors here and trying to blend the colors that it completes the photograph or the look that I'm going for. I don't have a certain workflow. I'm just going by feel and from experience, from mixing around or playing around with my mode layer or my mode enhancement buttons. And bringing down the opacity, and I made my gradient layer and I turned it to screen and lowered the opacity on that to a certain level. And now I'm going back to red, and because I think now I got overly conscious there, and I don't want the skin tone to look pink. Once again, there's no real workflow. On this particular photo, I think I was just freestyling. And here from the layer 1 copy, I went to my channel and I copied the blue channel and I pasted it into the blank layer and trying to see what that channel can give me. Here I think I'm trying to bring the highlights back. This photo, by the way, was taken at the Joshua Tree during the Mojica shoot with the designer. Her name is Jen Summers. As you can see there, on top of the selective color, I made a blank layer and filled that with, I think that's yellow. And on top of that layer, I added a levels. What levels does to the photo is actually either to enhance the highlight more pronounced, and as well as the darkness of the photo, or the shadows of the photo. Here I'm grading the vibrance. I love using this one, especially when I'm doing color grading. To me, it neutralizes everything without having to go through black and white and or use in saturation. And to me, this gives me a certain advantage. Having having black and white layer on top of a colored layer, it gives it that sepia type look. When I shot this photograph, it was one of the hottest days um, in Joshua Tree National Park. And I believe when we are walking, especially in the certain bush, it was really thorny, and so the model had thorns stuck to her legs, and I have thorns stuck to my shoe, and everybody in this day was just had a bloody foot, but it was good. We all had fun. And so from the group one, from my first initial color grading, I merge all the layers together, and then from the color graded layer, I blend it with the original photo, and I relaunched or created another levels, and that as you can see, that's levels 2. And with the blank layer, I filled it with gray again, and I went with linear dodge. Oh, let me see if I like something here. Probably a linear burn. Bring that down, or fool around with that. Nope, for some reason I didn't like it. So I just went with the reveal mask and not hide the mask, and just extract what I want to extract, or highlights from the background and the model. Just to give it that perspective. And from here, oh, with color grading, it's basically it's basically a way of just working until you get something what you want. And then if there's something that I want from my experiment, usually all of my retouch and my edits, I record each one. And if there's something that I like, I go back to it and extract the things that I like from it, and make notes of that, and use that for future preference. Here I've created another set of group, and the group 2 is actually a flattened layer from group 1 from my first edit, and that's how this group is born. Yep, and then flatten all the layers, and now it's time to work with the face, and just gonna heal, or take away the stuff that actually jumps out at me. There are a lot of stuff that jumps out at me, but for the sake of this small little walkthrough, um, just to give you guys an idea on how a certain workflow or a certain look is being presented. When I save my work, I don't save the JPEG. When I launch my work in Facebook, Flickr, and whatever avenues that are out there that can showcase a photograph, I only launch the JPEG file, and after they are all launched, I tend to just discard them, and I only keep the PSD file. And for me, it's easier if I want to go back and tweak or enhance a little bit more of the photograph. It gives me that ability. And there are times it's things are done by trial and error, and the more I think one experiments with a look, you know, over time it gets better. And here, um, got out the a layer that's filled with 50% gray, and turn that mode into soft light, and it's a quick way of dodging and burning. And right now I'm just going through and dodging the or bringing out the highlights, not actually evening out the skin. Just go ahead and working with the highlights. It's not macro dodging where you have to do it pixel by pixel. With this, with the 50% gray, it's just for me. I use it if I want to bring out the highlight and or darken the photograph. And this is the method I usually go for. And overall, just gonna give it that depth of field. And now in this stage, there's this action it's one of my favorite action. I got this from the set of actions that you can buy at Michael Su's website. That is Michael Su with an SOO. Well, I can go and actually go into my filters and add noise to it, but there's, I don't want to take that time to actually blend the noise into the photograph. So why not just, do a simple action? So here and in my pass through folder, I'm lowering the opacity of the noise that I put in. I think I'm working around 20 to 40%, 20% on the face, and 40 to, I guess 40 to 60% for the background. And there you go. That's my own interpretation of Sunkist workflow. And I hope you guys enjoy.